All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started because I'm super excited about the topic today. I'm Jolyn Reen. I'll be your instructor here today. We are going to be discussing really what's new and what's coming in 2025 with your Microsoft 365. As a matter of fact, Microsoft 365 and the logo that you're seeing is actually being replaced. So um, we're familiar with Microsoft 365 and the image that you're seeing right now, but we'll see in a minute here how things are going to be changing over the next few months. But if anybody does have any questions, feel free to go ahead and put those in the question box. There also, of course, is going to be a handout available. They'll be sharing the PowerPoint presentation as well, so all of that will be available to you. But I do want to jump right into really talking about what exactly is going on and what has been going on, really kind of focusing more on what really happened at the end of 2025 or 2024 and what has already happened in 2025 and what can we expect that's going to continue to happen. And I think a great way to kind of start that off is actually with Microsoft's CEO. 5 days ago, he broadcasted a video that really kind of incorporates the things that I want to be talking about today. So let's take a listen.
Hi there. Today, I'm really thrilled to share a very major milestone for Copilot. We're introducing Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. This is a big step forward in making AI accessible to every employee in every business. It's not just about having access to Copilot, it's about unleashing a swarm of intelligent agents to supercharge your productivity and unlock the full ROI of AI. Copilot Chat includes three key features. First, it's enterprise-ready chat with web grounding. File uploads, it's all included for free. Second, you get access to agents right in your workflow and the ability to create your own agents. People often mystify agents, but I think of it like creating an Excel spreadsheet. Building agents should be as simple as that. And finally, enterprise-grade security, privacy, compliance, and management. At its core, AI empowers you to ideate, to create, and to achieve your business goals. It gives each of us more leverage and more agency while freeing us from the drudgery of repetitive tasks. For me, Copilot has become a daily habit that's reshaping how I work and my workflow. I'm constantly querying it to find and unlock all the tacit knowledge across Microsoft and the web. With Copilot, I can ideate with AI and collaborate with people. And with agents, I can streamline all of the various workflows I participate in. Now imagine the impact when every employee in your organization can do the same. That's the scale of what we're talking about. And of course, when you combine that with Microsoft 365 Copilot, our best-in-class AI assistant, it truly transforms work for yourself and your teams. Thank you so much.
With that being said, it is back in November when Microsoft held their Ignite. Ignite is a yearly announcement of really kind of introducing all the things that are coming out with Microsoft 365 or Microsoft in general. They made a lot of major announcements, but based on that video that you just saw, some of those key words that we really want to be focusing on is Microsoft has a huge commitment to AI. We are going to see that in the new branding. We'll talk about that in a second. The new branding that is already been released with Microsoft. And not only just the AI side of things, but in the background, the security and things are being enhanced, and it's going to be a continuous process, of course. But we got some introductions to what was coming in fourth quarter of 2024. Already introduced this year has been a lot of different changes. We're going to see those changes here today. Some of the features have not been released yet that I'm going to mention today, so I can't demonstrate those. I might show a quick little video on what is coming in the next few months, but throughout the year, the big focus is on Microsoft Copilot. And you're definitely going to see that as we go through what's already been released and what is coming. So a couple of the things that I'm going to be mentioning, these are going to be um, terms that you're going to hear and be really kind of hearing every day throughout this next year is Copilot actions. You're going to hear in excuse me, the CEO was also talking about agents. Agents is going to be probably the biggest part of what's happening here in 2025. So I'll show you where they are because they're already available, and I'll show you how you can access that information. So exciting things are definitely coming. Now, before I kind of dive into this, because you're going to see this either online or in my handout as well, Microsoft has public previews of some of the releases. Public preview really is only a specific group of people are going to see some of those public previews. It's a way that they can release features, have people give their feedback and say, well, this doesn't work quite the way that I thought it would, or this is really great. And we get feedback before it goes to general availability. General availability, of course, is that it's fully available to everyone. So not everything is released um, to everybody right away, which is actually a really good thing because we never want to be the first person on the block to start using that new feature, because of course there can always be changes that need to happen after people start using it. But just so you kind of know, at the end of your handout there's going to be some links that you can go into to different websites that are going to give you further information, and one of them is actually going to be the Microsoft roadmap. So the Microsoft 365 roadmap, and I have just a couple of websites that I have links for at the end of your handout. This is going to be one of them. This is the Ignite, where Microsoft does their major introductions. And you can see that right away. There's the CEO again. Copilot is the UI for AI. So the user interface. So it's going to be upfront everywhere. I don't know if you guys have been watching basketball lately, but I noticed the other night when we had it on TV that there was the Copilot symbol, the Copilot logo right on the basketball court. So they're definitely promoting this huge right now, wanting to get everybody using Copilot. So a couple of other ones that I want to point out to you right now is when you go to Copilot or you want to access your Microsoft accounts, there's a new web address. I have that in the address bar up at the top. So it's m365.cloud.microsoft. That's going to be the new URL that is being released. So for those of you that happen to be in IT, if you're doing shortcuts to anything, we will need to update those shortcuts. Pretty soon it does do a redirect. So if you're setting up something new, of course, you may want to know that. Now I'm going to come back to this screen in just a minute, but just to show you a couple of other websites that I find very helpful. The Microsoft community, which once again, these are shortcuts that you do have access to in your handout. So these are going to help you to know this is what's already come out, this is what's coming. And then here's the roadmap. What's nice about the roadmap link that I gave you is that it allows you to go specifically into a product. So you can go directly to the filter at the top for the product and see what's coming or what's in the works for the future on any individual product. So just so you know, you could do that. Also, I wanted to show you this website. This is a link also that you have, but this is going to help you when we get into what exactly is an agent. This particular website, which is support.microsoft, and it's into the Copilot topic here. But basically, each one of these at the bottom of this, there's some different information about Copilot agents. And I have a slide on this, but just so you understand, we have our Microsoft 365 apps. Copilot is now the user interface. So we access all of our apps now directly through Copilot. And inside of Copilot will be the agents. And the agents are going to be a huge part here in 2025. So what this is showing you is the benefit of using the agents and using Copilot agents at work. It gives you some examples. So if you're in customer support, here's some ways that you're going to be able to use an agent. Now, of course, this is just some information today. This is going to be enhanced throughout the entire year. These agents are going to be a daily feature that you will actually be using. It's crazy to think that, yes, we just got Copilot and we thought, okay, I'm going to maybe use Copilot. Well, I use Copilot all day. So it's something that has been a habit of mine, and he mentioned habits as well. It's really a habit that I have developed over the past 6, 8 months. I use Copilot continuously throughout the day, but it's going to be more relevant, and you don't even realize sometimes that you're using Copilot. So anyway, I've got these other websites that I'll come back to and talk a little bit more as we kind of go through different things today. But let's get into what's really going on. We're gonna right now, just so everybody has an idea, I gave you more in your handout as well, but the classic Teams desktop is going away. So we want to be prepared for that, and we want to make sure that we are getting into the new one. If you haven't already, get into the new Microsoft Teams and get familiar with how that is working, so that you can really take advantage of all of the features that are going to be included with Copilot and using programs like Microsoft Teams. Now, there is going to be the end of support for Office 2016 and 2019, but that's not until later on in this year. So no more updates and things like that. They are retiring. I don't know if you're using Viva Topics or Viva Goals, hard to say today, but those are actually going to be going away as well. Um, they're going to be retiring OneNote in Windows 10. OneNote is really going to be its own app and not be part of Windows anymore. So they're making a few minor changes with that. There's expansion of cloud services that are going to be coming out, continuous innovation when it comes to the new features and the updates. You want to make sure that if an update comes, it's already been tested. It's already gone through the security processes that are built in with AI, built in with Microsoft, because Microsoft has huge security behind the scenes for us using the AI tool Copilot. But there's going to be some changes in really the pricing and just like normal with Microsoft, the licensing when it comes to using Copilot. So kind of back to the website here for just a second. I do want to mention one thing on this. Sorry, lost my mouse there for a second. Let me get to this page here. But Mike, when it comes to purchasing Microsoft Copilot, we want to think about the business versions and the enterprise versions, not the personal use, because we have high-end security when it comes to using Copilot within our business. It is a huge part of 2024 and 2025 to make sure that when we are utilizing these tools, because they're in our everyday lives, that we make sure that we are secure. But this website is going to give you access to, here's the standard business, so depending on your business size, or the enterprise packages that are now available. So down at the bottom you can come into, here's what's available for the plans for Microsoft Copilot. Copilot has had some changes in how we get our licensing, so that's something that you could be talking with Aldridge about. They can help you with the license that would be better for your organization, whether it's going to be just the business or the enterprise. Okay, so just so you're aware of that coming and happening. So one of the things that is huge right now, which you may or may not have already seen on if you go into your Microsoft apps or you go into Microsoft Copilot, the old logo is going away. This is going to be the new logo. It's a little bad graphic there. Sorry about that. But everything is called Microsoft 365 Copilot. So what used to be called Microsoft Office is no longer Microsoft Office. It is called 365 Copilot. So just so you're aware of that. So they're rebranding and restructuring away a lot of options that come with that. So this is a huge announcement. We had a little bit of a trickle to this coming in December of 2024, but they are definitely over the next few months going to be incorporating the new logo. I see it already in different areas of going into my Microsoft accounts, going into Excel, going into Copilot, going into Outlook, etc. But basically, you're going to see M365, which of course stands for Microsoft 365, on the logo. So they're going to be branding that little tag that's going to be on there. So changes are happening right now. And you can see that the rollout is mid-January is when they're starting to include these options. And then of course, here's the URL change. So they're ditching the old URL and doing the m365.cloud.microsoft.com. So anybody in IT want to be aware of that, or even for your personal selves, because you're going to go into the new user interface, which I will be showing you very shortly. But there's going to also be some other changes. This slide will take you through those. The search box, the way that it's going to work on the home page, that's going to be enhanced a little bit. They're changing the physical location eventually from top right for our profile and some other features. It's going to be moved to the bottom left. Uh, they're going to be changing My Day, which is one of my favorite features. Help Me Create is going to be available. So Microsoft Create, which I don't think I have any slides on this, but Microsoft Create is not a brand new product with Microsoft. A lot of people didn't even know it was available. I didn't use it before, but I'm starting to use it now. It came out in like 2022. I'm going to say, but Microsoft Create is becoming more and more relevant today, which is a great place for you to go to create whatever it is that you want, whether it's a spreadsheet, a Word document, you want to design something, use a template. It's kind of our go-to place now that we can be using. But anyway, just so you know, that's another option that will be kind of enhanced over this next year. So we're kind of changing what is being used or what is being done with what used to be our Microsoft 365 tenant. Everything now is going to be powered through Copilot. So we have full integration of when we are in our apps that we can be looking at or utilizing our other apps as well. So it's going across the board. So when you are logged into your Microsoft account, you're going to be able to analyze information even deeper than we were in the fourth quarter of 2024. It's even larger now. The capabilities are larger of what it is that we're going to be able to do. So keep in mind, everything is now at the top right here. This is how things are going to look. Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, but there are some major things that are actually coming. I'm just kind of showing you this little bit here on these couple of videos here. There's Microsoft Places that is coming. There's Microsoft Actions that are going to be coming. So let's talk about what these, and by the way, this is called the Places Finder. So when we think about hybrid workers, which I do know that a lot of people are going back into work again. So we're not doing as much as they predicted of hybrid. Some people still are, but some people are actually going back into the office. How is these new features going to help you with that? Well, let's say that you need to do a meeting and you're going to have some people online and some people that are going to be live with you in the room. This Places Finder is really kind of a replacement of what we had in Microsoft, where we could set up an account for this room. All of that is going to be developed a little bit different now, and it's going to allow you to not only see the room that you could be using, but what equipment is included in that room. So does it have video conferencing capabilities? Does it have a whiteboard? You know, what's actually going to be included with it? It's a lot more intelligent, and we're going to be able to, I remember back in the day when I used to have a book that I would have to, sign up to say, I want to use this conference room. This is the way that we work today. So just so you know, this is one of the new features that is going to be really shortly. So a big part of what's coming is also going to be what is called Copilot Actions. Copilot Actions is going to be an interactive tool that we can hesitate, and it will show like a hyperlink. We can interactively, whatever it is that you're doing, it can actually give you an action that says, hey, it looks like you're doing this. Here's some suggested actions that you can do. It's helping us to not work harder. It's working smarter. So if it recognizes that you need to create an appointment, it's going to give you a drop down menu of being able to choose, here's the actions related to what it is that I recognize that you're doing. I don't know if you could see the expression of my face here, but I am so excited about this because this is going to really help us to do our jobs better. When we stop and think about the pains that we have with how this process works and how we do these types of things, these actions and agents are going to be here to help us. It's not taking away jobs in any way, shape, or form. These are here to help each individual, depending on what your role is within your organization or within your department. These are automatic interactions that we will get automatically on the screen. The actions have not been released yet, so I can't demonstrate those, but I am going to demonstrate the agents. So let's talk about what exactly is an agent. An agent is part of AI, and it's going, for me, I think of it as an add-in. So to me, an agent is an assistant to Copilot. So we have our 365 apps. Inside there, we have Copilot. Inside Copilot, we have agents. Agents are going to be individual apps that really can, they're going to enhance the processes that we do. When we talk about workflows and different things like that, that's part of agents. Agents are going to work with workflows, but this goes way beyond that. If we are working in sales, we're working in HR, and we have different things that we want to automate, we're going to be doing that through agents. So it's going to be a huge part of 2025. So they use the natural language and they are directly inside the new Copilot chat. So what we used to call Copilot app, going just into the Copilot app itself, is no longer called the app. It's called Copilot Chat. So Copilot Chat is the new window of what it is that we are using to chat with Copilot. So it just makes sense that that's what it is. So a little bit more on, if you're using an agent for customer service, it will interact with your customer service program, whatever program it is that you're using, whether it's a third party or you're using things directly within Microsoft, this agent can automatically be connected. So it's a connection to combine the applications together, so to say. It's kind of hard to explain sometimes, but once you start seeing it in action, it's pretty cool. So the way that the agent is going to work is it's directly inside of Copilot, which Copilot is directly inside our Microsoft 365. So let me show you an example of what I mean by all of that. Back to the internet here. So how do you get into Copilot? You can get into Copilot so many different ways. One of the ways, of course, is going to be going directly into your Microsoft account, going to that new URL. So this is the new URL. You can see it even tells me, welcome to Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I'm in the m365.cloud.microsoft.com website. On the left-hand side, of course, I have Copilot. So if I click Copilot from there, it's going to take me into the Copilot chat because that's what it's called now. It has been enhanced, and you could see the new logo up at the top. And up also at the very top, I can go into either work or web. But I happen to have a Copilot icon on my taskbar as well. And on my laptop, I have a Copilot icon or a key on my keyboard that I can just press. If I go into Copilot that way, let me show you what that's going to look like because it's a little bit different than what we had before. So if I just go to the icon for my taskbar for Copilot, this is what you get. So do I want to use personal, which of course I do not, because why would I use a personal account that's not connected to my business 365? We want our work account. So it shows, of course, your account information. You just simply click on that and it automatically will take you into Copilot directly connected to your 365. So we can access Copilot from inside Outlook. We can access it from inside Microsoft Teams. It is even going to be incorporated, of course, everywhere. So every app you go to, you will have access to Copilot. But this, once again, is the Copilot chat. What you see now is up at the top, if I'm on web, it's giving me suggested prompts that are web related, going out to the internet and searching. If I click work, I get different suggested prompts because now it is fully connected, of course, to my 365 apps. So it's directly connected to Outlook, Bookings, Teams, OneNote, everywhere. And on the right-hand side, we have a menu. This menu will become very, very prevalent in your day-to-day work because it's going to give you, and it's got this new category at the top called agents, which was briefly released last month. But just so you can see, if I go to Get Agents, if I click Get Agents, this will actually take me into my apps. So on the left-hand side, it took me to my icon, Apps. And what it allows me to do then is to find the apps that I have rights to connect with. But it's got it, sorry, it's slow to open. But in the left-hand side, I can click on the category, but because I went in through Copilot chat, it took me directly to the agent. So this is currently, as of today, the agents that are available for anybody to use, depending on your rights through your system. Some of these are Microsoft, some of these are third party, just so you're aware. But these are the connections that we will have to work directly through our 365 apps, which is now Copilot, to these agents. These agents are the add-in, what I used to call add-ins, are the add-ins that will enhance our usage of working with the apps together. Put it easier that way, but just so you can see, this list will continue to grow, of course, but you can select any one of these. But let me jump back to Copilot on the left-hand side. I'm just going to click the Copilot icon, or I could do my back button as well. But back into Copilot on the right-hand side, if there's not a agent available for what it is that you need, you can actually click Create an Agent. It takes you into Copilot Studio, and Copilot Studio is where we go to manage all of our agents. We can create new, we can share agents with others. So if I have rights to create an agent, I can share that agent with my coworkers. So maybe everybody in my department can take advantage of this agent. I could share it with them. I won't get into all that detail today, but up at the top, you could see it says describe or configure. We can use, of course, Copilot to help us build the agent. So if it's going to be based on a writing coach, we could click on writing coach and it will help us to build a writing coach. If I go to configure, I can actually create by giving a name, walking through a description. Here's the instructions on how to create this. We can build an agent ourselves, just so you know. So it's an automated process using Copilot to help us build automation within our systems. So this is going to be the top keywords that you're going to be hearing throughout 2025. The big part is, of course, everything is related to Copilot, and Copilot has agents, which are kind of like an assistant Copilot to Copilot. So it's kind of cool how all that works. Now, of course, we've had Copilot for a while, and Copilot is better than it was when it was first released, but it still does the same things. We still work with prompts and different things like that. But what's going to be kind of enhanced coming up is going to be the agent, I'm sorry, is the actions. So the new actions, for example, you can automate receiving a summary of most important action items at the end of your workday. So it's going to recognize what it is that you're doing. It's going to give you an icon, a link. It's going to say, this is what you're working on, blah, blah, blah. You can click on a link for this action menu and click from the list of the actions to have it help you automate the things that we're using Copilot for the most. So when we're in the Copilot app, and I say that I want to summarize emails from a specific person, or I want to prep for an upcoming meeting, those are going to be automatically on your screen as action items. So we don't even have to do it from here or type it into the chat. The things that we do the most, Microsoft knows because they interview millions and millions of people, and they know what people need the most. What do they use the most? And it's going to give us these actions for that. So Microsoft Actions is going to be a big part over the next, oh, probably 3, 4 months. It isn't something that's out there yet, but it will definitely be coming. So they're really a huge focus on Copilot Studio, which is the backbone application for these agents. And there's an agent that I do want to mention that is available as of today, and it's actually called the interpreter. So if you are going to be going to, let's say you go to Microsoft Teams, and you go into Microsoft Teams and you're going to be creating a meeting. Sorry, I got a window because I have a new release that just came out. Oh my goodness, it's crazy how much Teams is changing. Um, but let me log into my account. I'm so sorry here. Oops, I thought I had this already there. Sorry. But what I want to show you with this agent called interpreter is, let's say that you're going to be doing a webinar and you're going to be, or doing a meeting, whatever your case would be. One of the things that you want to be thinking about is anyone else going to be listening to this or in the meeting that is speaking a different language and they don't speak your language? We now will have this interpreter that we can actually go into to automatically have it give the presentation in their language with your voice. So AI uses your voice to do the translation. That is huge. It's great because otherwise it used a different voice. It's kind of like you do that Alexa and those types of things. Um, it has different voices, but now it's going to be able to use your voice, just so you're aware. While I'm here in Teams, I want to point out a couple of things that just were released. So these are enhancements and different things that we have available, either came out in the fourth quarter or already have changed. The big thing is, of course, your chat. So no longer do we have Teams as a separate icon on the left-hand side. We are incorporated together with chat and your Teams all in one central location. They're really trying to limit what it is that we see on the screen. But the big thing that just was released last week was actually the calendar. So you may have noticed a button at the top right when you're in the Teams calendar that says New Calendar. If you slide that button at the top right over to New Calendar, we are now more integrated with the Outlook calendar than we ever have been before. So if you're using the new Outlook, so let me go to the new Outlook. So if I'm actually in the new Outlook and I go to my calendar, it's the same calendar that I'm now seeing and have interaction with in Microsoft Teams. So they're trying to get things to really be the same from one place to another. And if you go to create a new meeting in the new Outlook, when you click to create that new meeting, here's the window that you get. We get the same thing now in Microsoft Teams. So if I'm in Microsoft Teams, so this is the new Teams, if I go to create a new meeting, I get the same thing that I just saw when I was in Outlook. So it's much easier to go from one program to the next. Everything works the same now. I am loving this new calendar. We have new views and we could do different filters and all this stuff. So, and on the left-hand side, I can go to other calendars because I could show all my calendars, the same calendars that I had in Outlook. So if you haven't done this yet, this just was released. I absolutely love it. Slide that button over for the new calendar and give it a try. Otherwise, there's definitely some enhancements in Microsoft Teams that have been released in 2024 fourth quarter and really kind of in December that have come out. A lot of things, of course, are the enhancements to meetings. So when we go into a meeting, we have that instant connection with Copilot, and we could do recaps on what happened in the meeting. Or if you come to a meeting a little bit late, you actually have the capability of asking Copilot, what did you miss? So we have all that integration with that Copilot, and it's becoming more and more relevant into all of our apps. So major enhancements um, already included in Teams. Absolutely wonderful features are coming yet. Okay. So, but back to Outlook for a minute. One of the things about here in Outlook that I wanted to make sure, because I'm in the new Outlook, on the left hand side, I have the icon for Copilot. We, of course, no longer have, in the new Outlook, we no longer have access to the old Outlook tasks. We are simply using to-dos, which to-dos are directly connected into Planner, which is wonderful because to stay organized and be organized, we need to have a central location for everything to be located at. But back into the emails, we have full integration with Copilot when we are selected on an email, more so than we ever did before. On the right-hand side in the reading pane, if I want to summarize a long conversation that I'm having with someone, I simply click Summarize in Copilot. So Copilot has definitely been enhanced. So if you haven't switched over to the new Outlook, you need to, because I got to tell you, it is fantastic. This integration that we have not only with Copilot, but with other major features as well, it just makes sense. We have a simplified ribbon in Outlook. It's just it's the wave of the future, and it took me a while. I was very skeptical about switching over because it's hard to do something new, but it is exactly what I needed. It gives me everything that I need. So anyway, it gave me this summary up at the top. So I could go in and ask Copilot information directly from here as well. We have that full integration, and more features are coming throughout 2025. But let me just go to a different email. And let me just go to, I'm going to right click on an email. And one of the things is always watch your right click menu because they've actually enhanced it. So if you right click on an email, one of the things that I love about the new Outlook is at the bottom where it says advanced actions. Advanced actions. We could create a rule directly from there, which by the way Outlook rules work now are being replaced with the actions. The actions that we're going to be getting is actually going to be replacing how we used to have to do Microsoft Outlook rules. So it's going to be much easier. But what I wanted to mention is if I want to have this be turned into a task, I just come to this advanced actions, click create task, and it's going to automatically create a task for me based on the content of that email. But I'm going to close that on the right hand side because I can also take an email and turn it into a meeting. If I go to the ribbon on the home tab, I'm going to click schedule with Copilot. When I'm on an email, it's going to invite everybody that was a part of that email, and it creates an agenda that is directly related to the conversation that was happening within that email. So the integration with Copilot with the new Outlook is amazing. They've made enhancements and more are coming in Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, OneDrive. OneDrive now has Copilot built in and very interactive, but it's also coming to every other app. If it's not already there, it either is being released right now or will be released over the next few months. So we'll basically have it everywhere. So anyway, just so you could see that it automatically can create a meeting and it automatically is utilizing the contents of that email. So it's more interactive than it ever was before. We still have the standard meeting icon where it can turn an email into a meeting, but it does do the agenda and things that are now built in with Copilot. So you want to take advantage of these types of features because it's going to definitely be saving you hours and hours of work. So when it comes to working with these new features, the interpreter is going to be an agent built into Teams meetings. We really want to embrace the changes that are coming to Microsoft. The 365, and that was just a couple of extra videos, but I really showed you most of what was in there. I didn't have it when I first created this, but I just got it released in mine, so I didn't need to have that as a extra video to show you. But as I mentioned, Microsoft Copilot Studio is an app that is now directly available through Copilot that houses all of the agents. So it's the program that is the backbone of agents. Kind of like when we create a team in Teams, the backbone is SharePoint. Agent's backbone is Copilot Studio, just so you have a reference to that. So anyway, getting to understand Copilot Studio, if that's going to fit within your role at your organization, can be a key aspect because it's going to allow you to create those automations so that you can have those available within the agents that you're going to be using. Because these agents are going to be able to help us support different areas within our companies, whether it's sales, it's HR, it's marketing, it's IT. Agents are going to be helping us with all of those different aspects of our organizations. Another enhancement that started in fourth quarter of 2024, but is now being enhanced even more is Copilot Pages. So when you are in Copilot, we have the ability, and this is going to be more relevant as we keep working in Copilot, but let's say that I do a search in Copilot. Let me just give you an example of this. How to use SharePoint in an HR department. So if I just ask Copilot some information about that, that information that you're gathering, of course, can be copied and pasted somewhere. But the big thing that we're using now is called Pages. So at the bottom, we can say edit in Pages. So it's an interactive screen that shows up on the right-hand side with that information that we were just chatting about. We can continue to add to this. It's an interactive page that can be shared with others as well. And notice on the left-hand side, we have a shortcut to Pages. If I click Pages, it could take us into the Pages window where we can have access to everything that has been added to Pages. This was a huge confusion when it was first released in the fourth quarter of 2024. Pages is now easier to use and it makes more sense, and it's going to continue to improve over the next couple of months. But basically, we didn't know how to get back to the pages. There really wasn't an easy way to say, okay, I added all that to the page, but how do I get to it again? Now we have the icon on the left-hand side when we go into our Microsoft account. And this is something that I'm in all day long, by the way. So this is something that I open right away. I have it as a shortcut on my taskbar or my favorites bar up at the top so that I could quickly and easily get to it every single day because it's now become a habit to me. So anyway, if I need to go back to a previous pages, all I have to do is click on it and it's going to take me back into the information that I was gathering from the Copilot chat that I was doing. So anyway, that was just a very brief overview of how Pages is being enhanced. So if you did take the opportunity to get familiar with what Pages was in the previous, quarter of 2024, it's definitely enhanced, and they're going to make a few other changes down the road. So continuous innovation is Microsoft's plan for 2025 to continue to add and improve the security behind the scenes and the enhancements that we have with AI. So 2025 for Microsoft is definitely going to be a game changer because the way that we used to work, if we even think about a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, when you start thinking about your goals for 2025, you might, in your head have personal goals and things. Make sure that you're adding, utilizing Copilot more. So if you start thinking about your personal goals for this year, if you have not changed your habit on how you do things, add that to your list. I highly recommend that you really start thinking about, how can Copilot help me in my job? We don't want to be afraid of AI. AI has been around for a long time and it is not going anywhere. Everybody, not just Microsoft, everybody is in really taking advantage of what their organizations can do with AI. So, anyway, just to recap, the key things that we want to be thinking about adding to our habits for 2025 is utilizing Copilot more, using the Copilot chat, making sure that we understand here's what we have available, updating our software so that we have the capabilities of taking advantage of all these new features or the features that are going to be coming by updating Teams, updating Outlook. Those are going to be two major ones. Using the new calendar is going to save you so much time. It is already, and I've only been using it for a week, and it's already saved me a ton of time because I'd always have to jump back to Outlook to do something, but now I can do everything directly in Teams and it looks the same. So it's easier on us as end users. Everything that Microsoft is enhancing is really easier on us. And that's what they're trying to do is make our lives and the way that we work easier. So change your habits. Change the way that you're doing things. Other keywords are going to be the agents. When the actions come out, I'll be super excited to have these action items so that we can be automating our processes even better than we ever did before. So encourage you to start checking things out. So that will kind of be your homework assignment from today's session. So I really want to thank everybody for joining us today. I am I've been excited for the past year, but I am more excited now, really kind of having, a few months under my belt of getting used to using Copilot and definitely have changed the way that I work. And as soon as I slid that button over to add in the new Outlook and using this new calendar this past week, I've already seen major changes in the way that things are happening for me. And I hope you're going to find that as well. So have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I hope to see you in a session again in the near future. Thanks.